the first video on the channel, where today we're going to be talking about the history of the Arizona Cardinals. Let's start back in 1867, 22 years prior to the founding of the NFL, where this team was originally identified as the Morgan Athletic Club. This was brought on as just an idea before the founding of the NFL. The first field this team played on when the NFL was founded in 1898 was called Normal Field, which led to their team being named the Racine Normals. In 1901, the team needed new uniforms. Owner Chris O'Brien purchased uniforms from the nearby college Chicago University. Uniforms were red, but old and worn out. O'Brien stated them as Cardinal Red. The team was named the Racine Street Cardinals after this color name. In 1920, the Racine Street Cardinals joined the American Professional Football Association, also known as the APFA. In 1922, when the APFA was changed to the NFL, they changed to the Chicago Cardinals. They won their first championship in 1925, although the best team that year was considered the Maroons, who beat the Cardinals in the regular season. But they weren't able to play in the championship due to a suspension because of an exhibition game played earlier in the season. Coach O'Brien did not accept this championship and said the Maroons were a better team and deserved the championship. In 1929, when Dr. David Jones bought the Cardinals, he also did not accept this championship as their win. It wasn't until 1933 when Charles Baldwin became the new owner of the Chicago Cardinals. And then the Chicago Cardinals were finally acknowledged as the 1925 championship winners, as he took to full consideration that the Maroons did get suspended, so it was the Cardinals who won that game. 1944, due to World War II, players were sent overseas and not able to play in the NFL games. Due to this, many teams combined into one. Two of these teams to combine were the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Chicago Cardinals, which brought on the name Card Pit. The team went 0-10 for the second year in a row. After Bidwill died in 1947, the team won their first championship that was non-controversial. The Cardinals struggled in the late 50s when the wife of Charles Bidwill became owner. They almost went bankrupt in these years.
Due to the struggles in the 50s, they moved to St. Louis in the 60s. In 1960, the AFL was born. In 1962, the head coach died right after he made the team. In 1970, the NFL and AFL wanted only one, so they had to take away the AFL. So they only made the playoffs 3 times, in 1974, 1975, and 1982. Every year, though, they lost in the first round. After an okay season in 1987, with a record of 7-9, the head coach decided to make a change. It was in 1988 when they changed places and went on to Phoenix. They named themselves the Phoenix Cardinals. But they never played in Phoenix. They played where the college football team played. Until 2005, they would go on to Glendale, Arizona. The Cardinals never had a winning season, so in 1994, they switched to the Arizona Cardinals. In 1998, the Cardinals made the playoffs with a record of 9-7, which was good enough to make the wild card. With a little help from their QBs, he helped them do something they haven't done since 1947, win a playoff game. They won 20-7 against the Cowboys. After 1998, the Cardinals didn't make the playoffs for 10 years. So in 2008, but again making the playoffs by a close margin with a record of 9-7, but then they won all 3 of their playoff games and made it to the Super Bowl. And they almost won, but in the end, the Steelers came out on top 27-23. In 2009, the Cardinals improved their record and went 10-6 and made the playoffs, and then they beat the Packers 51-45. But then they had to go up against the Super Bowl champs, the Saints. They lost 45-14 and didn't make the playoffs for 4 years. So in 2013, they made the playoffs with a record of 11-5, but beat the Panthers 27-16. And in 2014, they went 10-6, but didn't make the playoffs. In 2015, they made the playoffs with a franchise best of 13-3 and secured themselves a playoff bye. And they won the first playoff game to beat the Packers 26-20. But then they lost to the Panthers in the NFC Championship game, 49-15.